Hi, Nadia. It's really nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming in today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, I've known you for long enough where okay is kind of in the middle, is maybe that
Yeah,
you're
well,
doing.
I guess I don't know, for the last month or so, it's been a little more rocky than normal, but it's never great, as you know.
And I know well, we've been talking a lot about depression and really trying to work together to help you feel less depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And how's that going? And is that kind of how you understand not feeling so well? Do you feel depressed?
Yeah, a little sad.
Hmm. And can I ask if anything has been has anything happened recently that um, is either scaring you or making you feel badly?
Well, I got into, a little bit fight with my neighbor, and I just thought about it, and I don't know, I kind of felt bad.
And do you feel safe right now, or do you feel like that situation is 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 scary for you or problematic for you, or is it?
Well, if I stay indoors, it's fine, but I feel awkward kind of going out and possibly seeing them.
Mhm. And do you have a sense of why that is? Do you feel like that's because of because there's actually some danger out there, or do you feel like it's more because you're feeling more emotionally fragile?
Yeah, I guess I feel fragile, like I want to get a look like I'm being judged or something.
Hmm. Hmm. And you know, I've known you during times where you have felt stronger and more able to go outside and more able to um, feel more up and happy. And I've known you long enough to have known you during those periods.
Yeah.
Um, what worked? Do you have a sense of kind of how you were able to feel better then? Like, what were some of the things that maybe allowed you to feel better then? That,
Yeah, well, when I take walks, uh,
mhm.
that seems to make me feel better. I don't know, the sunshine and I guess the exercise help.
And is that something that's happening less now?
Yeah, because that neighbor, you know,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I know in the past that you had had some experiences with medications for depression, and I think you had some good experiences with therapy. Are you on medications on the medications for depression right now?
I guess I kind of stopped.
Hmm. And was that because you wanted to not be taking them?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it helped, but then some days I didn't feel like it helped, and I was worried about side effects. And.
Hmm. And do you still have any a therapist or any other person like a psychiatrist in your life that's supporting you?
No, not right now. Mm-mm.
Hmm. Oh, it sounds like you're going through a hard period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge that I think I've known you during periods of depression before, and you've been able to get through it. And I've worked with a lot of people who have had even more severe depressions who have been able to get through this. And so um, I want to let you know that I'm here for you to work with you in whatever way and speed you want to um, find a way to maybe feel a little bit better and understand a little bit about why you're feeling bad and get through it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I want to get through it for sure.
Yeah. we're doing something new in clinic now, and there is, we're calling, it's a screening for what we call adverse childhood experiences, otherwise known as trauma. And I know that did you get that screener? Did you fill that out today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And we're just learning about how to ask patients about their traumatic experiences. We know that a lot of depression and other conditions occur because people have experienced some really, really, really difficult things in their lives. And those difficult things in their lives can sometimes have an impact on them that leads to depression and other health conditions. And so the reason I gave that screening to you, I give it to all my patients right now, is to discuss with you whether some of those experiences are still affecting you and whether we can maybe help you better by knowing about them. And so my first question is, what was it like filling out that screener?
Very uncomfortable.
And can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Those are very personal questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I don't understand why that has anything to do with. I'm 50 years old. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I mean, for me, understanding that you've been through a lot of very, very difficult experiences, even as a child, helps me understand why you may be struggling with depression now. Because I know that those types of experiences can have an impact on people's lives and their bodies and their brains and their minds, and lead to some struggles with depression. And I also know the reason, let me just say one more thing. The reason we ask is because I have found that when both of us can understand that those things may be contributing to depression, it lets us have other options, more options to figure out how to feel better. And I don't know, do you think any of the, and really this is all up to you. Do you think that any of those experiences are still having an impact on your life?
Well, certainly not consciously. I mean, I don't really think about that stuff. I mean, it comes, little flashbacks, but not really dwelling on it, And I mean, I guess what scares me is, I mean, it makes it sound like I'm doomed if I've had those experiences, and
Mm,
I don't like that.
yeah. And boy, that's not how I want you to feel, because that's not true.
Okay.
So many of us, all of us, me too, have had those experiences. And those experiences alone don't determine anything, really. Those experiences, sometimes when they happen when we're really young, or where we don't have people in our lives to help protect us or to talk about those experiences can sometimes lead to things like depression or
Okay.
contribute to depression. But just like those strengths and people in your life and me and others can help you, could have helped you then, these people and other activities like walking and talking to me and getting help like you have in the past can help you overcome those experiences. So, I mean, I would never ask you questions that weren't, that I didn't believe could be really helpful to us in figuring out how to make you feel better. And let me just say straight out, I don't think any of those experiences make you doomed. And I don't want you to feel alone. So many of us have had those exact same experiences. And that's why some things like depression are so common. And my hope is, Nadia, that both of us knowing that some of your struggles with depression may be due to some unresolved experiences you had, even as a kid. actually to me is a very hopeful thing, because I think it could help us figure out how to help you feel better, because some of those things may be still, um, you know, getting at you somehow or affecting you.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I mean, I would think that's a kind of the role of a therapist, not drugs, you know?
That's exactly right. I mean, drugs, it's really you who will be in the driver's seat of what type of care and what type of treatment that you have and what you want to talk about. But that's exactly right. I think that drugs have a role, but so could a therapist. It's really up to you, what type of treatment you'd have. I do have a question. When you were younger and you had those experiences, there were things in your life that let you survive them then.
Mhm,
Because you're here today, right now,
mhm,
um, alive and well,
mhm.
not doomed. And I'm just wondering, do you recall any of those helpful people or helpful things in your life that helped you get through those experiences?
Mhm. Yeah, I guess my mom and, um, believe it or not, school, just focusing on
Mhm.
school,
Yeah.
and, and then that, just creative stuff I would do, like writing and, um, poetry,
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Wow. Even as a kid.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's really amazing that you had that.
yeah.
And do you feel like that you have that type of social connection right now, or connection to a meaningful activity or to your creativity in your life right now?
Yeah, I guess I gave up on the creative stuff. Maybe I should, open that door again.
Well, you know, I would just say it's not a should thing. Because I mean, I just want to get away from that. Like, it's amazing you're here today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being honest with me and telling me about your skepticism about those questions, your fears, answering them anyway, and telling me how you're feeling. And so I think the question really isn't about what you should be doing or criticizing yourself. It's just recognizing that there are some things that you've already had in your life that have helped you survive and be well, that
Mhm,
we may be able to access again
mhm,
to help you feel better. And just like you're saying, that aren't about drugs, that are about things that we may be able to help you reapproach, and that could be helpful to you now.
mhm. Yeah.
And so I guess, let me just finish this part of the conversation by just asking you, how do you think you would like to proceed today? I think you're struggling, and I would like to help you feel better and not feel as scared to leave the house or to encounter your neighbor or just to feel emotionally stronger. Do you have anything that do you know how I might be able to help you today, or how I could? I have a lot of ideas myself, and we have a therapist here, and we have a lot of different services, but really, I wonder if you have an idea of how I could be helpful to you.
Yeah, I guess, what would help is because my thoughts are so scattered, is to kind of organize a plan, like a baby step, like get out of the
Mhm.
bed, um, and then, maybe, you know, get myself dressed and ready, and then go for just kind of, I know I'm strong, just go out there and go for a walk, and just kind of have a step by step approach, and then after, maybe just, open the door to writing again, get an appointment with a therapist. I don't know, like a plan.
Yeah. And do you imagine kind of hatching that plan with me? Would you prefer to hatch that plan a little bit with me and then with the therapist? Because let me just acknowledge what you're saying is exactly right. But like you did when you were a kid and you had your mom and you had other meaningful activities, you may need a little help to really, or it may be feel good to be helped hatching that plan, and really, so that it all doesn't fall on you, especially when you're feeling this way.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would you
Maybe.
want would you want to do that in another session with me, or would you want Do you think you would want me to connect you back with a therapist right now?
Yeah, because I'd like to talk to the therapist, and I think talking to the therapist will help me devise a plan as well, you know?
Okay. And then as a baby step, it sounds like one of the baby steps you want to make is to get dressed and go for a walk. Would it be helpful to have our next appointment be in person so that that could give you an excuse to get dressed and get out of the house and come here?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Would you feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Do you want to maybe do that sooner than later, like maybe a week from today?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. So Nadia, thanks so much for being willing to reveal yourself the way you have with me and to trust me with some of these um, ways you're feeling and experiences you've had. And I really appreciate it. And I think it'll help us work even better together because you've been able to trust me like that. And so in the meantime, I think getting dressed and going for a walk is a great idea, but don't beat yourself up if you are struggle with that. And what I'll do is I'll have our therapist reach out to you to make an appointment. And then I'll also have our medical assistant call you for an appointment for 1 week from today.
Okay.
Would you feel, if you started feeling worse, um, would you feel comfortable reaching out to me even between our appointments?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, because if you called the clinic and just left me a message and said you'd like to talk again by phone before the next appointment, I'd really like you to know that that's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, really nice seeing you. Look
Like,
forward to working with you and continuing to talk.
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.